Hey guys, welcome back to Paul's Super Deep Sleepers with your host Paul Lundgaard. Week 1 is in the books. Wow, crazy week. David Johnson getting hurt and a lot of top players underperforming. Le'Veon Bell, DeMarco Murray, uh, Andy Dalton. This is why you do multiple lineups and mix it up, guys. So I was still live with plenty of lineups. I did have those guys played in some of the lineups, but we hit in 9 out of 12 lineups last week, turned $10 into $30. So I know that's not, retirement money, guys. We're just having some fun right now, but one of these weeks I'm going to hit big, and I hope you guys listen to me and you do the same. Put $10 into DraftKings. Look for a promo code. You can find 50% matches. This is just, $10 investment. I guarantee you next week you'll be sitting on at least $10. You'll get enough of that money back, but hopefully 20 or 30 or 3,000. Please let me know if you guys hit big. We're trying to mix up our lineups, make sure that we don't have one of one player in too many lineups. Guys like Antonio Brown, you can put him in as many lineups as you want, but he's really expensive. I'm not always paying up for him. Let's grade last week. Before we grade last week, we're going to give a shout out to Jackson Mears at rotoden.com. Check for me on Thursday. He's going to upload my video to rotoden.com. It's user created content, for the fans, by the fans. So it's really, really good stuff. Jackson writes for the Rotoden and follows the Indianapolis Pacers. And wow, it is a rough time to be a sports fan in Indy. So grading last week, we said Brian Hoyer last week, 5.22 points. Sorry about that. Said stack him with Marquise Goodwin, who had 5.1. But I'll tell you what, guys, there was a play early in the game where Hoyer let loose. Goodwin was wide open. It was just right off his fingertips. That would have been a 60-yard play, and it would have been a good play. So, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but we were close. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, though, guys. I gave you Jared Goff and Deshaun Kaiser. 19.44 points for Goff, 19.58 for Kaiser. They were started in 1 to 2% of leagues. This is what I'm talking about. This is why you didn't pay up for Brian Hoyer and Carson Palmer and Russell Wilson and a bunch of your stacks. Hopefully you played these guys. Paul Richardson was my other wide receiver, 9.9 points. Peppered with targets. I love him going forward. He's the number 2 there, and he's still super cheap. Moving on to the tight ends, guys. A rough week for tight ends. I gave you David Njoku, who got 4. Sorry about that. But Evan Ingram had 8.4 for the Giants at peppered with targets, only started in 4 to 6% of leagues. Charles Clay, guys, 15.3 points. Let the big dog eat. Only started in 4 to 5.1% of leagues. And this guy's the real deal. He's going to be great going forward. 8.4 points, 15.3 points. You know who didn't score that? Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, Jimmy Graham. So this is what I'm talking about. Running backs, Duke Johnson, 4 points. But he did line up, like I said, as a wide receiver the entire game. I didn't think he would line up at wide out the whole game, but he did. So I kind of like that going forward. Mike Tolbert, guys, wow, super deep hibernation sleeper last week. He got 12.4 points. He had a touchdown and 55 yards on the ground. I love him going forward. Just any week that you need a cheap guy, put him in there. You're never going to have to pay up for him. He was started in 0.2% of lineups last week. You're welcome. Rams D, 28 points, started in 12 to 16% of leagues. One of the top scorers last week, playing the Colts. Any D against the Colts is going to be good until further notice. I hate to say it. Todd Gurley, 20 points last week. He wasn't a super deep sleeper, but I mentioned stacking him with the Rams D. That's a good start right there, especially if you threw Jared Goff in there too, like I did on some. I did Goff, Gurley, and Rams, and that's 68 points to start the game. So moving on to the games, we're going to start with the Thursday night game. We're going to do the Thursday slate and then not play any Thursday players, okay? Guys, this is my strategy that I did last year. It worked for me really well. The Thursday night game is traditionally a poop dick, low-scoring game, low output. Do the Thursday night slate so all the guys you're playing against have those Thursday night players in there. Don't play them. You're going to get off to a great statistical advantage. Trust me. Granted, there's going to be guys going off, but fantasy football players get 25 to 30% less output on Thursday nights. They have less time to rest. It's just a bad game all the way around. So that's what we're going to do, guys. So let's talk about the Jets Raiders. The Jets are that bad. Start the Raiders D. That's one of my sleeper Ds this week. Start Jared Cook this week, super deep sleeper. See what Charles Clay did to the Jets last week. So I love Jared Cook. Pair him with Carr. Put Carr with Krabs or Cooper as well. I actually like Crabtree because he's cheaper. Go ahead and get Marshawn Lynch in there too. Feast mode this week. He got 79 yards last week, and the Jets D allowed, I think, 160 all-purpose yards to McCoy last week, so I like him. Cowboys Broncos. Cole Beasley's my super deep sleeper this week. Go ahead and get Zeke in there. He's almost always worth the money. The Broncos D, you can play them. I don't know if I'm in love with them this week. Fowler the second. A lot of people ask me about this guy. Fowler the second. He scored twice last week. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. So let's put that on hold. I could be wrong. Skins Rams this week. I love the Rams. God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I love the Rams D. The Skins sputtered getting started last week, really getting going the whole game. Kirk Cousins, you could tell that he's missing Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson. I think there's a new playbook there too. Jordan Reed was out there, but all three of his feet are hurt. So, wow. So start the Rams D this week. Go ahead and pair them with Gurley. I like the Goff to Cup stack this week. Cooper Kupp is one of my super deep sleepers this week. People are talking about him. He's not that super deep of a sleeper anymore, but he's cheap. Lions, Giants. Stafford looked great last week with 4 touchdowns, 2 of them to Kenny Galladay. This guy was on my radar and was going to be one of my super deep sleepers last week, but he had a growing injury. I didn't think he was going to play. This guy has the physical attributes of Calvin Johnson. So maybe not this week against Landon Collins and the Giants' tough secondary, but going forward, watch for that guy. Stay away from the Lions running backs. It's a running back by committee. Stay away from the Giants running back, Paul Perkins, and whoever else they have. Play Evan Ingram again this week. Super deep sleeper. He's cheap. Scroll down. Matter of fact, just type in his name. That way he pops up. You don't have to waste all your finger strength scrolling down because they're not making you pay for him this week. And 8.4 last week? I like him to get 12 or more this week. We're going to move on to the Bears Bucks. Tariq Cohen. Wow. I didn't give him as a super deep sleeper, but I wish I would have. 12 targets last week and 8 catches. He might lead the team in receptions this year. Kind of pumping the brakes on him this week. I mean, his price tag is low. I'm not mad at you if you put him in a couple lineups. I'll have him in there. I don't think he's going to blow up like he did last week. But 12 targets for a running back. To put that in perspective, one running back got 12 targets in the passing game in the entire 2016 season. I think it was DeMarco Murray. I mean, this is big. Jacquizz Rodgers is my super deep sleeper this week. They are going to want to run the ball this year. They ran the ball way more week 8 on last year, and they were 6-2 in those 8 games that they started running the ball more. Winston went from 38 pass attempts a game to 30. Jacquizz Rodgers got 30 touches in one of those games. So he's super cheap. Put him in there with confidence. Cards, Colts. The Colts are bad. We're not going to spend much more time talking about that. People were asking me about Marlon Mack. He's just not going to have the opportunity. He's a special player, but he's just not going to get it. I love paying up for the Arizona D this week. Pair them with Kerwin Williams. Super deep sleeper this week. He's backing up. Going to get in there. CJ2K's there. Andre Ellington's there. They're all going to get work. But I think Kerwin Williams will get the goal line work, and I think he will have a great game for his price tag. Pair Palmer with John Brown, not Jaron Brown. I almost made that mistake. J.A. Brown, not that guy. John Brown. John Brown, super deep sleeper this week. He's cheap. Browns Ravens. We love the Ravens D going against the Browns. Love the Flacco to Macklin stack. Macklin's going to be a super deep sleeper this week. I know you guys know who Jeremy Macklin is, but he's only $5,000. So this is what I'm talking about. He got 17 points last week. His price tag is going to go up when he throws up a 22-pointer this week. Love Deshaun Kaiser still with those feet. He's going to get you running. He's going to probably run one in again. Stack him with Corey Coleman. The Titans-Jags, love the Jags D this week at home against the Titans. The Titans kind of sputtered last week. Pair the Jags D with Fournette. He's only $7,000, and he's number one running back material. He's amazing. I was going to say Delaney Walker, but pump the brakes on that guy this week. Finns Chargers, I love Jay Ajayi. Cutler to Devontae Parker stack. Melvin Gordon's going to get work. Keenan Allen scored last week. He's number one wide receiver. He's not number one wide receiver money, though. No real super deep sleepers there, but just some guys I'm talking about. 49ers Seahawks, don't play any 49ers this week. We're going to like Pierre Garçon going forward as a PPR. He got like 17 points last week, but not this week against the Hawks. Stay away from the Seahawks backfield. I think Thomas Rawls is going to start this week. The Eddie Lacy experiment's already over. Look for Chris Carson to get some work. I like him going forward, but not this week. Wilson to Baldwin, Wilson to Graham this week is going to be good. And then my super deep sleeper again is Paul Richardson. Scroll down, guys. Scroll down. He's way down there. He's like in the $4,000 range, but he's going to be great. Pack Falcons, get them all in there. Get as many of those guys in there as you can. Julio, Austin Hooper. Hoopa is my super deep sleeper this week for the Falcons. Ty Montgomery's going to get work. Look and see what Tariq Cohen did last week against them in the passing game, and that's what he does. He catches balls out of the backfield. Randall Cobb is back. Those quarterbacks are going to be good plays. I mean, obviously, you're not starting the defenses. Also, the Pat Saints, play all these guys too. I like Alvin Kamara this week. He's going to be a super deep sleeper of mine. I love his skill set for that team. I think it fits really well. It is a running back by committee, but he's really cheap, and I like him to get 10 to 12 points this week. Like Chris Hogan as a super deep sleeper this week. He's cheap. Philip Dorsett is still learning the playbook. Danny Amendola's got the concussion. So Gronk will have a get-back week. You compare him with Brady. Gronk is only $6,900 because he had a bad week last week, but he will get back and Gronk will eat. Last game is the Eagles-Chiefs. Pump your brakes on Travis Kelce here for a minute. I don't like him yet. I like Carson Wentz to Zach Ertz stack this week. Kareem Hunt is the real deal. Get him in your lineups. He's $6,800 and he's going to return $8,000 value. Alex Smith is the real deal. Kind of him and Sam Bradford are kind of doing the same thing. They're going a lot more vertical than everybody expected. Super deep sleeper with him this week. Stack Alex Smith with Chris Conley. He's fast. He got a bunch of targets last week. I think he's going to have a really great week. Obviously, you can always play Tyreek Hill too. I'm going to finish on this stat from Tyreek Hill. He has 6 games in a row dating back to last year with a play of 60 yards or more. I'm going to say that again. 6 games in a row with a play of 60 yards or more. That is amazing. He's in the $7,000 range this week, but put him in there. He's gonna definitely return value. So that's it. Shout out again to Jackson Mears at rotoden.com. Look for me at rotoden.com on Thursday, and we're going to get a lot more exposure that way. Put in the comments how you think I did last week. I'm going to grade myself a B+. On my picks last week. I mean, we nailed 7 out of 11 picks. So have a great week. I'll see you next week, and happy hunting.